I never thought a single sentence could pull the air out of an entire room, but that's exactly what happened the moment Sarah said it. We were sitting in the therapist's office in downtown Portland, Oregon, soft lighting, pale sage walls, a small tabletop fountain in the corner that was supposed to make everything feel peaceful. Nothing about us was peaceful anymore. I'm David, 36. I'm not the guy who runs from problems. I fix things. I work with my hands, carpentry, remodeling, anything with structure and logic. But nothing about marriage prepares you for the day your wife looks at a stranger in a leather chair and decides that's the moment to confess she doesn't love you anymore. The therapist, Dr. Harrison, had asked a simple question. What brought you both here today? Sarah crossed her legs, smoothed her cardigan, and said calmly, as if she were mentioning the forecast, I think I've stopped loving him. No hesitation. No quiver in her voice. She said it like she'd practiced it in the mirror 100 times. For a second, I honestly thought she was talking about someone else. My brain refused to accept the words. They echoed, then sank, heavy and cold. The room didn't move, but something inside me did. A quiet collapse. Dr. Harrison's eyes slowly shifted toward me. She was waiting for a reaction. Anger, denial, maybe some dramatic outburst. After all, that's why couples come to counseling. One person finally breaks and the other scrambles to glue the pieces back together. But I didn't break. I just inhaled, slow, steady. Sarah looked uncomfortable that I wasn't reacting the way she'd predicted. She folded her hands in her lap, brows pinched together like she was bracing for an explosion that never came. How long? I asked. My voice surprised me, calm even. Not cold, just steady. A while, she replied. Maybe over a year. A year. We'd shared holidays, dinners, movie nights, trips to the grocery store in Boise. A whole year of ordinary life side by side while she quietly carried that truth like a stone in her pocket. What made you stay? I asked. She looked at me, and for the first time she hesitated. I didn't want to hurt you, and I hoped maybe the feeling would come back. Dr. Harrison interjected softly. Sarah, can you tell David what changed for you? Sarah exhaled slowly, as if this part was harder. I don't know. Everything just felt different. He didn't do anything wrong. I just felt myself drifting. That's what people say when they want to soften the blade. Drifting sounds poetic, gentle. The truth is abandonment in slow motion. I nodded, even though my stomach tightened like a fist was squeezing it. David, the therapist said. What are you feeling right now? What was I feeling? It was complicated. A mix of betrayal, exhaustion, and an odd sort of clarity. There's a moment when someone finally tells you the truth, even if it's brutal. When something inside you aligns. Lies leave you guessing. Truth, no matter how harsh, gives you direction. I met Sarah's eyes. I appreciate you saying it plainly. Her mouth parted slightly, caught off guard. Maybe she expected tears, anger. But I wasn't angry. Not yet. Mostly, I was recognizing the woman sitting across from me wasn't the one who used to leave little notes in my lunchbox or kiss the back of my neck while I cooked. That Sarah had been gone a long time. I just hadn't accepted it. What do you want to do going forward? Dr. Harrison asked. Sarah stared down at her hands. I want space and honesty and to stop pretending. Stop pretending. Those words hit harder than the confession itself. Had our entire last year been a performance? I leaned back slightly, almost sinking into the chair. And for the first time in months, I let myself see the relationship without hope clouding the view. That's when something inside me shifted. A very quiet, very decisive shift. One that didn't come from anger, but from understanding. I looked at both of them. Sarah with her practiced sadness, the therapist waiting for emotional fireworks. And I said a single sentence, the one that changed the room instantly. I think I stopped loving this version of us too. The silence afterward was electric. Sarah blinked, startled, like she wasn't sure she'd heard me correctly. Dr. Harrison leaned forward, hands folded, clearly sensing the shift. The room, moments ago heavy with her confession, now reordered itself around mine. What do you mean by that, David? The therapist asked gently. I took a breath. I mean the version of us we've been living in, the one where we keep pretending things are fine, where I chase and she drifts. I don't love that version either. I didn't realize it until right now. Sarah stiffened. Her eyes darted to my face, trying to read me. Maybe she thought I was retaliating, but I wasn't. If anything, it felt like the first honest thing I'd said in months. I'm not saying I don't love you, I clarified. I'm saying the version of our marriage you're describing. I don't want to hold on to it if it's already gone. Her throat tightened. She swallowed, gaze falling to the floor. I didn't expect you to say that. Of course she didn't. She expected me to beg, negotiate, bargain like a desperate man. She expected tears, a plea. Something that would make her feel powerful or in control of the narrative she'd rehearsed. Instead, she got acceptance. Dr. Harrison looked between us. It sounds like you both feel the relationship has changed significantly. What do you each want moving forward? Sarah hesitated longer this time. I want clarity, she said finally. I want to know if we're trying to fix this or ending it. Ending it. The words sat there like a dropped glass. I didn't answer right away, not out of fear, but because I wanted to answer from clarity, not emotion. And clarity, oddly enough, was finally settling in. I think, I said slowly, that we owe each other truth, not comfort, not habit. Truth. Sarah's eyes lifted to mine, soft, unsure. So what's your truth? I shifted forward, elbows resting lightly on my knees. My truth is this. I've been holding on to the memory of us, not the reality. I've been hoping for warmth from someone who stopped reaching for me. I've been loving the past version of you, and I didn't realize how lonely that made me. Her lips pressed together as if trying to steady themselves. Guilt flickered briefly across her face. And hearing you say it out loud, I continued. Hearing you admit those feelings, it hurts, Sarah. It really does. But it also frees me from guessing. And I think maybe we've both been drifting in different directions, just at different speeds. The therapist nodded slowly. That sounds very honest. It was. Sarah wiped a tear with the back of her hand. I didn't want to hurt you, she whispered again, but there was something less certain in her tone now, something almost fragile. I know, I said, but keeping someone in the dark doesn't protect them. It just delays the pain. A silence settled, softer this time. Not cold, not explosive. Just real. So where does this leave us? She asked quietly. I exhaled. It leaves us with a choice, not just about staying or leaving, but about whether we're willing to rebuild something new, something honest, or whether we walk away with respect instead of resentment. Sarah looked down again. Do you want to rebuild? I didn't answer immediately. I wasn't trying to be dramatic. I genuinely didn't know. For the first time in a long time, the question didn't feel one-sided. It didn't feel like I was the only one fighting. I want to rebuild only if we're both present, I said. Not if it's me dragging us forward while you're already halfway gone. She nodded slowly, as if the words were sinking through layers. Dr. Harrison leaned back. Sarah, do you feel you can be present in that work? Sarah hesitated, a long, heavy pause. I don't know, she whispered. I want to try, but I don't know if trying will bring the feeling back. It wasn't the answer I wanted, but it was honest. Brutally honest. And for once, honesty felt better than false comfort. I nodded, accepting it. Then maybe we take space, not to drift but to think separately. Clearly. Sarah's shoulders dropped. A mix of relief and sorrow. I think that's fair. We stood up at the same time. No dramatic exit. No slammed doors, no raised voices. Just two people finally facing the truth of what they'd become. At the doorway, she paused and turned back briefly. You surprised me today, she said softly. How? You didn't fall apart. I offered a faint, tired smile. Maybe I already did. Just quietly. A long time ago. She nodded, almost in understanding, then walked away down the hallway. And for the first time in months, the silence I felt wasn't empty. It was honest.